and organized dairy sector. You can see unorganized कितना है, almost 66, organized is 34. ऑर्गेनाइज्ड डेयरी सेक्टर में क्या क्या इंक्लूड होता है? नंबर वन, वी इंक्लूड द मिल्क cooperatives. One cooperative, you know, it is Amul. Amul comes from the state of Gujarat. Any other cooperative? Saras comes from your state, Rajasthan. Then, huh? What is that dairy? I think it's Vijaya. Just check. Vijay is more famous throughout Andhra Pradesh, no? Okay, probably it must be a very small, limited to Vishakhapatnam. Probably I'm not heard of it, but there is one Vijaya which comes from the state of Andhra Pradesh. It has like Amul presence. It has presence across that. Or you have Nandini. Nandini comes from the state of Karnataka. Then Aveen. There's another cooperative called as Aveen. It comes from the state of Tamil Nadu. Then there is another cooperative called as Sudha, which comes from the state of Bihar. Okay, so we have cooperatives. Right on, right on. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. Delhi separate. So it's a cooperative owned by farmers. Farmers owned cooperative. Okay. Second type is we can have milk producer companies. Look at this word, milk producer companies. We will cover what is milk producer company. As of now, think if farmers are coming together and if they register a cooperative, it will be called as cooperative. But if farmers come together, if they register that particular entity as a company, we call it as milk producer company. Common thing to cooperatives and milk producer companies is both these two are owned by the farmers. Both are owned by the farmers. In the handout, you can see there's a mention about a milk producer company which is called as Shrija. Case study mein hai. It is the world's largest women-owned milk producer company. World's largest women-owned. Okay, this is one of the example. It comes from the state of Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, I guess. Telangana. Either Andhra Pradesh or Telangana. Shrija. Okay. Then apart from milk producer companies, what we also have is National Dairy Development owned cooperatives. Cooperatives owned by National Dairy Development Board. Best example of that is Delhi's Mother Dairy. Mother Dairy in Delhi is not a cooperative which is owned by the farmer. It is a cooperative which is owned by National Dairy Development Board. And then you also have the private sector companies also. Name some private sector milk companies. Good. Then yes, good. There is Country Delight और Nestle सुना होगा आपने. Nestle or Country Delight. And look at your handout for the case study. वहाँ पे एक कंपनी है जिसका नाम है मिल्की मिस्ट. It's a 20,000 crore company. And what is the most special thing about this company? तो क्या बेचता है फिर? If it is not selling milk, means what it is selling then? It is only selling milk based products. It is not selling milk, only milk based products, which might include your cottage cheese, butter, and those things. Ice cream, yeah. विंटर है, खाना नहीं चाहिए अभी. Is that clear? Let's see what is the significance of the dairy sector. Why is dairy sector so important for the Indian economy? 30 seconds. Try to generate some points. What is its importance? Hmm. It can help us ensure self-sufficiency in milk production. Milk is major source of protein. It can help us meet our protein security. Good. Okay, good, because it occupies less amount of agricultural land that way, but its contribution to is very high. Additional source of income. I think that's a very good point. Crops you can earn income only once in a season, but from milk you can earn income throughout the year. Very good. Come again. It helps us promote integrated farming system, crop diversification. Good. Then it will help address the problem of hidden hunger and malnutrition. So write what all points you can write. There's a framework which I'll give you. Just remember the framework. First one, quantity of output. Huh. Strength or significance. Both are same. Strength or significance. First one is quantity of output. So what has happened with respect to quantity of output is dairy sector, put a hyphen and write, dairy sector has registered a growth rate of 4 to 6% in the last 20 years. In the last 20 years, as against 1 to 2% growth, as against 1 to 2% growth in the crop sector. In the crops sector. Quantity of output. Next one is nutritional security. Nutritional security. With respect to nutritional security, you can add per capita milk availability. Per capita milk availability in India is around 470 grams per day. Per capita milk availability in India is around 470 grams per day, which is higher than the global average. Which is higher than the global average. हमारा milk production कितना है? 240 million tons, right? So if you could distribute that milk production to all the people, then one person will get like 470 grams per day, which is more than the global average, which is good. The next one, promote inclusive growth. Promote inclusive growth. I told you about small and marginal farmers, right? What percentage of farmers are small and marginal? 86% of the farmers. But the thing here is these farmers, they own 75% of the milch animals. Milch animals means milk producing animals. So just add that data. The same data you can write. Small and marginal farmers, 86% of farmers, but 75% of the milch animals. Promotes development of cooperatives, promotes development of cooperatives, leading to leading to development of social capital, leading to development of social capital, and economic democracy. ये सारे कीवर्ड्स होने चाहिए आपके आंसर्स में. लुक एट द वन वर्ड सोशल कैपिटल. याद आ रहा है कहाँ पे यूज किया था हमने ये? प्रीलिम्स मॉड्यूल while discussing microfinance institutions. Look at this word also, economic democracy. यहाँ पे you have to give one case study example. Which is that example? Amul, right? Example, Amul. Next is promotes development of food processing industry. It will help us promote the development of food processing industry. Which case study is suitable here? No, no, we are talking about dairy. Dairy, na? Food processing. Huh? Milky Mist. Good. Example, Milky Mist. So Yadu is not into this, right? Dairy. It is made into fruits and vegetables. Then promotes. Okay, points. Last one. Promotes integrated farming system. Which we have covered, right? So that way, we have covered the strengths. Look at the case studies also. How many strengths have written? 6. Let's see the challenges. I want every one of you to take a moment and think of the challenges of the dairy sector. But to make you think on the challenges, I'll give you a framework. The framework is, imagine you want to start a dairy in a village. You wanted to start, Bharat? You already have a dairy. Good. So imagine you want to start a dairy. To start a dairy and to sustain that particular dairy, what all challenges would you encounter? That is what you have to write here. Imagine you want to start a dairy in the village. After starting it, you have to also sustain it for a long time. What are challenges you'll incur? That becomes the challenges of dairy sector in India. Take your time. Let me see how innovative you can be, challenges wise. Like I can think like this. If I am a farmer, if I want to start a dairy, the most important thing which I would need is paisa, loan, lack of access to credit. This is a challenge only. Getting it? Take your time. And if you have at least 4 to 5 points, you can raise hand. 4 to 5? 3? खुशी 3 to 4. ओके, हाँ भरत आपसे स्टार्ट करते हैं, आपका डायरी है ना? Yeah, good. What he says is good. He says that initial cost is very high as compared to, let's say, cultivation of crops. Cultivation of crops is not that costly. You just have to purchase the seeds. Its initial capital is high. Second, good. Maintenance cost is high. For milk you need to store it once it's produced. I think he's saying a good point. Fodder issue. They have to have food also to eat, right? So fodder, lack of accessibility to fodder. Huh. Huh? Yeah, I think he's saying a good point. He says that cattle is frequently affected by certain diseases. Can you name some disease? Foot-and moth disease. Flu affects the birds. Foot-and moth disease, and there's another disease called as lumpy skin disease. Lumpy skin disease. Come on. I think she, I think she is thinking very innovative out of box. बहुत ही अच्छा point है आपका. Her point has to be appreciated. He says कि these days people are turning into vegan. Because they're turning into vegan, they're not demanding for normal milk. They're demanding for alternatives to the animal milk. Like people are demanding for almond milk, soya milk, and so on. Good, very good. Okay, because it is mostly unorganized. Uh-huh. Huh. I think that's a very good point. This was actually the first or second point ही आना चाहिए था. Fertility should be the main issue यहाँ पे. We'll cover that. हाँ. No, but वो तो डायरी सेक्टर है ना, खुद का भी कैटल होना है, वो भी पार्ट ऑफ डायरी सेक्टर ओनली. हाँ, इनफॉर्मल मार्केट ज्यादा है, अनऑर्गेनाइज मार्केट. हाँ हाँ, A2 plus, good, very good, very good, very good. So I'll just tell you how to remember these points. What you have to do is you have to think of the forward and backward linkages. In case of forward and backward linkages, you should think like this. If you want to start a dairy, what all things you need? Number one, you need to have access to the credit. So once you get access to credit, then you can purchase the cattle. Second problem is the yield of the cattle itself might be lower. Yield might be lower. Third point, ideally, we should go for artificial insemination. What is this artificial insemination? Is this was actually indirectly asked in your prelims 2025 as well. Indirectly, what is this artificial insemination is? See, in dairy sector, where we are producing milk, we don't want male calves to be born, right? We want the female calves to be born. And you know male and female का chromosomes, right? Male का क्या होता है? X and Y. Female का X and X. This is how it is. Okay. So if you want a female calf to be born, we have to have X and X. So ideally in artificial insemination, we go for a technology which is called as sex sorted semen technology. So what we do, we identify good quality bulls. From the good quality bulls, we take out the X chromosome. Because male calf has both X and Y, we discard which chromosome? Y chromosome को हम discard करते हैं. From the bulls, we take out the X chromosome, and that with a female cow, from which we get X. Then we have a female calf. This is sex sorted semen technology. In prelims 2025, there was a question on one of the major initiative for the dairy sector. Look at this, Rashtriya Gokul Mission. एक बार अपने handout check कर लेना. What it is this mission used for? It is for, yes. And what technology it is using? This technology only. Okay. So we need to have that kind of technology as well. After that, we have to ensure that they are not suffering from any kind of diseases, right? So first, and obviously they should have access to fodder as well. So आपके 5 points यहीं से आगे. After the milk is produced, milk can be sold either through organized or unorganized. But India में generally कहाँ से sold किया जाता है? It is mostly sold through unorganized. When it is sold through unorganized, there are fundamentally two problems. उससे wastage ज़्यादा हो सकता है, और another problem is the milk का, there's always possibility of milk being adulterated. Milk may mix with water and other things, right? No? होता नहीं है भरत? अच्छा. Okay. Apart from this unorganized, you can also see there's preference to alternatives to milk, right? These are some of the problems that you can highlight. The other points also I'll dictate this, right? First one, lack of access to credit. Lack of access to credit. Full stop. No separate PSL target. No separate PSL target. No separate PSL target for the allied sector. No separate PSL target for the allied sector. What this means is, remember we discussed this concept of priority sector lending, where the banks have to give at least 40% of the loans towards the priority sectors. One of the priority sector is agriculture. Out of that 40%, how much loan should be given to agriculture? 18%. Out of that 18%, how much loan should be given to small and marginal farmers? 10%. Remember this. I think in the handout and the PYQs, the practice questions, you must have attempted it. 40% is the total target. Out of that, 18% to agriculture. Out of 18%, 10% to small and marginal farmers. But there's no separate sub-target only for the dairy sector, allied sector. Can I say this point is universal? If a question is asked with respect to challenges of any allied sector, be it poultry, fisheries, you can always use this particular point. Huh? Which one? Next one is yield. Lower yield. Lower yield. Put hyphen right. 4.87 kg. 4.87 kg in India as against global average, as against the global average of 7 kg, as against the global average of 7 kg. Next point, poor coverage of artificial insemination. Poor coverage of artificial insemination, in the bracket 30%. Poor coverage of artificial insemination, in the bracket 30%. It means only 30% of the cattle right now is born through artificial insemination. Next is frequent outbreak of diseases. Frequent outbreak of diseases such as lumpy skin disease, such as lumpy skin disease, lumpy skin disease, comma, foot and mouth disease, foot and mouth disease, etc. Next is lack of access to fodder, lack of access to fodder, put a hyphen, right? Even though India is the largest even though India has the largest livestock population, even though India has the largest livestock population, comma, only 4% of the land is declared as, only 4% of the land is declared as pasture land. Pasture land means grazing land. So do not get feed and fodder. Okay. Next is dominance of unorganized sector. Dominance of unorganized sector leads to wastage and adulteration. Leads to wastage and adulteration. Next, limited processing capacity. Limited processing capacity in the form of cold storage. In the form of cold storage. In the form of cold storage. Next one. Reduced demand for milk, reduced demand for milk due to preference for alternatives, such as almond milk, soya milk, etc. Next point, lack of focus on marketing and branding. Lack of focus on marketing and branding. Example, A2 milk. Example, A2 milk. Okay, let's see what is this A2 milk. Has anyone ordered for A2 milk? Has drunk A2 milk? Okay, what is this A2 milk? I'll just tell you. If you look at our indigenous cows or buffaloes, whatever milk they provide, milk is essentially a source of protein. And which protein you find in the milk? What's the name of the protein? भूल गए? स्कूल में पढ़ा होगा. केसिन प्रोटीन. ठीक है, अभी याद रख कर लेना. So casein protein is found in the milk. Apart from that, there is another protein. It is called as A2 protein. Okay. Even though a lot of scientific research has been carried out to find out between these two protein which one is more superior, there's no conclusive evidence that A2 protein is more superior. But somehow, perception is built at a global level that this A2 milk is more superior as compared to the casein milk. And what you must understand is this A2 protein is especially found in the milk which is produced by our indigenous cows. Getting this point? Generally don't find it in all. You can find it only in certain indigenous cows. So what happens is, because people are demanding for more milk which is rich in A2, our farmers should be able to take advantage of it. They should be able to take advantage of it and do more marketing and branding, saying that we are producing milk which is more rich in A2, so that they can price it at a higher and they can get more prices. But they are failing to capitalize on this huge opportunity. So next time, but if you are ordering milk from Swiggy Instamart, एक बार check कर लेना. Try to order for a A2 milk and compare the A2 milk with the normal milk. A2 milk and the normal milk, even though they are of same quantity, A2 milk is little pricier as compared to the normal milk. Only few private sector companies have taken advantage of it. Our farmers have failed to take advantage of it. I hope you understood. Especially there's a huge export potential also. Imagine if we could sell the same milk to the other countries, saying that look, A2 protein is found in the milk produced by our cows. Our exports might also increase. Okay. How many points have written? Okay. Is that clear to everyone? So coming back, look at all the initiatives. One of the biggest initiatives is Rashtriya Gokul Mission, breed improvement of indigenous breeds through IVF and sex sorted semen. We have already covered that. National Livestock Mission. This one stands for Agriculture, Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund. Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund. This fund is similar to Agriculture Infrastructure Fund. Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund. And look at the last one, Maitris. गवर्नमेंट क्या करता है, फर्स्ट इट विल डिसाइड ऑन शॉर्ट फॉर्म, एंड शॉर्ट फॉर्म को डिसाइड करने के बाद दे विल थिंक कि इस शॉर्ट फॉर्म को लॉन्ग फॉर्म में कैसे कन्वर्ट करें. सो दे फर्स्ट डिसाइडेड कि हम मैत्री रखेंगे इसका नाम. देन दे थॉट हाउ डू यू एक्सपैंड इट टू मीन दैट वी आर ट्राइंग टू इम्प्रूव टेक्नोलॉजी इन द रूरल एरियाज. मल्टीपर्पज AI टेक्नीशियंस. यहाँ पे AI इज नॉट आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, इट इज अबाउट आर्टिफिशियल इंसेमिनेशन. Okay, look at the last part. White Revolution 2.0, everyone. Right in that White Revolution 2.0 in the bracket, November 2024. It was launched in November 2024. What's the basic idea behind this? If you look at our dairy sector, organized and unorganized, between these two, which one is more dominant? Unorganized. So we want to convert this dairy sector from more of unorganized to organized. So we are now bringing in White Revolution 2.0, a second version of White Revolution. So what we are doing here, increase the share of cooperatives and dairy sector. Procurement of by the cooperatives must increase by at least 50% in the next 5 years. So look at the strategy. I covered about PSCS, right? While discussing the world's largest grain storage plan. Their role right now is confined only to giving credit. Under world's largest grain storage plan, their role is going to be expanded to set up godowns. Now they are also going to set up dairy cooperatives also. Convert existing primary agriculture credit societies into milk primary agriculture credit societies. M stand for milk. Is that clear, everyone? What is cooperation among cooperatives? We'll cover that later in the next topic. Now look at the poultry sector. Okay, I do understand the problem of the students. Ki we have covered the dairy sector. For dairy sector, you have mugged up. For dairy sector, you have mugged up the strengths of the dairy sector, and you have also mugged up the challenges of the dairy sector. On top of that, if I ask you to remember the strengths of the poultry sector and challenges of poultry sector, it will be a double burden. So to make your job easier, what I've done, can you see the broad points यहाँ पे? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The broad points, from where are they picked up? From the dairy sector. The same broad points I have picked up from the dairy sector, but what has got changed is only the inter part. Same way, can you see the challenges also? Almost same. Feed, yield, frequent outbreak of diseases. But यहाँ पे lumpy skin disease मत लिखना फिर. यहाँ पे you have to talk about the diseases affecting the poultry birds. Like you can talk about avian flu, bird flu. Limited availability of credit, ये तो same ही रहेगा. And I said that for milk, people are turning more vegan. For poultry, what's the challenge? Lower demand for egg and meat because people are predominantly vegetarian. People are now shifting to plant-based proteins also. Example? Whey protein or anything which people are shifting to. From chicken, they are shifting to plant-based protein. Example of that would be? Huh? Soya. Yes, the people are consuming more of soya now. Yeah, sattu also, soya also, right? Understood. Why, what happened, Bharat? Bharat does not believe in all the philosophy. ठीक है? Are we sorted on this? Okay. Now we are going to move to the next theme. The next theme is of cooperatives. Okay, even though it is not mentioned in a syllabus, I'm still covering this topic, cooperatives, because it is part of your current affairs. The year 2025 is declared as International Year of Cooperatives. Prior to this, the year 2023 was declared as International Year of Millets, and a question was asked on millets. Same way, you can expect a question on cooperatives, right? Just recall what all things we have already covered with respect to cooperatives in our banking. याद है? Banking में we covered cooperatives. One by one, start telling me some principles that you know of cooperatives. One member, one vote. ठीक है? Second, decision never based upon majority. In cooperative, the decision is one member, one vote, na? It is democratically governed. Good. they give loan only to the members. PACS. Or what else? How are the rural cooperatives structured? PACS, DC Central Cooperative Banks and State Cooperative Bank. For urban, there is one urban cooperative bank, right? There is a board of directors in cooperatives. How are the board of directors in the cooperatives chosen? Through what? Through elections. There's an election which takes place, and in the election, just like how you have elections for Gram Panchayat, just like that you have elections for the cooperatives. Who regulates the cooperatives? Depending upon the structure. Who regulates? Registrar of cooperative societies, right? And if it is working as a bank, in that case, there will be a dual regulation. I hope you are able to remember. Apart from cooperatives in the banking sector, are you able to recall any other cooperatives? Apart from cooperatives in the banking sector, any other cooperative? Amul Dairy Cooperative, Lijat Papad, Kudumshi is not a cooperative, it's a SHG. Any other cooperative? अभी तो हमने नेम लिया था IFCO और SIAD is a cooperative. It's a FPO, it's a cooperative. Then Indian Coffee House, United Coffee House, it's an example. Mumbai Dabbawalas, we discuss, even that is a cooperative, right? So this is a basic understanding we have already got with respect to cooperatives. We are going to take it further, and now we are going to focus mainly on the mains part, not the prelims part. Just look at the present status, everyone. Present status right now, we have almost 8 lakh cooperatives with almost 30 crore members. The best part about cooperatives is they are covering 99% of the villages and 71% of the rural households. They have like near universal membership. That's the strength of the cooperatives. Okay. But what you should know is cooperatives, based upon the functions which they are carrying out, they can be divided into two: credit cooperatives and the non-credit cooperatives. Credit cooperatives का मतलब ये है, they are basically involved in giving of loans, जो already हमने cover किया है क्लास में, in the rural areas as well as urban areas. Now I'm going to focus on this non-credit cooperatives. So can you see, out of 8 lakh cooperative units, 1.8 lakh are what? Credit. The remaining are into various activities like dairy, fisheries as well as housing. So right, non-credit cooperatives में यहाँ पे examples में, number 1, you obviously have dairy cooperatives, right? You have dairy cooperatives. Example is Amul. Apart from Amul, Vijaya or Nandini. Apart from dairy cooperatives, you also have cooperatives in the field of marketing. Marketing cooperatives. Some of the marketing cooperatives include, have you heard of this TriFed? TriFed is a cooperative which is into selling of tribal products. So tribal products are being sold through TriFed. It's a marketing cooperative which is basically selling the tribal products, TriFed. Okay. Apart from TriFed, we have another cooperative. Have you heard of this? NAFED. NAFED is for pulses and other crops. NAFED is also a cooperative. Then in Karnataka, they have their own marketing cooperative called as Hopcoms. Hopcoms. So just like how in Delhi, You have these shuffle outlets through which fresh fruits and vegetables are sold. In Karnataka, in certain urban areas, you have hopcom outlets through which they sell the fruits and vegetables. It's like farmers themselves are growing fruits and vegetables. After growing fruits and vegetables, they are selling the same fruits and vegetables through certain retail outlets, hopcons. Then you also have sugar cooperatives. Sugar, sugar cooperatives. In which state are the sugar cooperatives very famous? UP and Maharashtra. Two states, UP and Maharashtra. Hmm? Hmm. Then you can also have cooperatives. Yeah, he's one of the stalwart there. Manufacturing, manufacturing, manufacturing में कौन सा cooperative है? Best example is IFCO. IFCO, it's the world's largest cooperative. Example IFCO. Then there is also consumer cooperatives. When I say consumer cooperative, it basically means a group of people, they are coming together, they are forming a cooperative. After forming a cooperative, what they do, they purchase different items in bulk, and that items they sell it through their separate stores. What happens is when they purchase the items in bulk, they can bargain and get the items at a lower price. Individually, if I go to purchase any product, I might get the product at a higher price. But if all of us come together and purchase the product in bulk, क्या होगा? We can purchase it at a lesser price. One of the best known consumer cooperative in India, we have this Kendriya Bhandar. Kendriya Bhandar is actually a cooperative which is set up by central government employees. So central government employees have come together and they have set up this Kendriya Bhandar. You must have come across this defense canteen. Na? Similar to that defense canteen, you have this Kendriya Bhandar where you can purchase different items at a lesser cost. But to purchase that, you have to be a member. Clear? Okay. Now, the main thing is we are getting into the challenges. Everyone has taken down? Okay. Here, recently, the union government has announced a policy. The name of that policy is Sahakar Se Samriddhi. Sahakar means cooperation. Samriddhi means prosperity. Achieving prosperity through cooperation. That is the main agenda of the new policy जो government ने unveil किया है. But it is being said for the success of this policy, there are number of challenges. And all these challenges have been highlighted by a committee known as Shivaji Rao Patil Committee. Can you tell me what are the challenges which cooperatives are facing? You must have heard something about cooperatives, some major challenges. I think problem with the banking is good. You have been able to link it to banking. What he's trying to say is there's a poor regulation of urban cooperative banks. Poor regulation क्यों हो रहा है? Because there's a dual regulation. RBI is also regulating, registrar is also regulating. Dual regulation से NPA बढ़ रहे हैं, and that is why RBI has cancelled licenses of large number of urban cooperative banks. Good. उसके साथ any other major problem? Generally, why we think that cooperatives are not functioning optimally? Why cooperatives like only Amul are growing? Why not the other cooperatives? Hmm? और क्या हो सकता है सोचो? Why? Good. And who is that usually the person who controls the cooperatives? The biggest problem in cooperatives is cooperatives have now emerged as a major political tools. Politicization of the cooperatives. If you go to Maharashtra or for that matter UP, ideally the cooperatives should be owned, run and managed by their members. Ideally. But if you see these two states, there the cooperatives are mainly led by the local level politicians, who mostly happens to be a kind of their ministers, MPs or MLAs. They are the ones who are heading this cooperative because for them it becomes a kind of uh, I could say this becomes a way to capture the votes of all the members. If you become a chairperson of a cooperative, it means that whatever farmers are there in that cooperative automatically will vote for you only in the elections. So the biggest problem is politicization of the cooperatives, right? So let's discuss all the challenges of cooperatives one by one. First major challenge you can write. First major challenge, lack of participatory character, lack of participatory character due to free rider problem. Lack of participatory character due to free rider problem. Free rider problem basically means, look at this word, free rider. You're riding a two-wheeler. The person sitting behind you is a rider. Is he contributing to you driving in any manner? Obviously not. He's just taking advantage of you riding that particular bike. Same way, it is being said that a lot of people join cooperatives not because they want to contribute. They join cooperatives because they can take the benefit of the cooperatives. Example being, a lot of people join a PSCS not because they want to contribute to the growth of PSCS. They join PSCS because उनको लगता है कि शादी के टाइम पे हमें लोन मिल सकता है और कोई हेल्थ केयर इमरजेंसी है उस टाइम पे लोन मिल सकता है. People are joining cooperatives not because they want to contribute, but they want to only take the benefit. So in the cooperative, what happens is you'll come across a lot of non-active members. Non-active members are more. Okay? So right, put a hyphen and write. A lot of people join cooperatives. A lot of people join cooperatives only to take benefits, only to take the benefits and not to contribute. Only to take the benefits and not to contribute. Second, elite capture. Elite capture. Elite capture, put a hyphen and write. Non-active members. Non-active members. Non-active members can contest and vote in the elections. Non-active members can contest and vote in the elections. Full stop. This enables rich and influential politicians. This enables rich and influential politicians to dominate the cooperatives. Rich and influential politicians to dominate the cooperatives. See, ideally what should happen here is we should say only those people who are regular participants, who are actively contributing, only those people can stand in elections, and only those people should be allowed to vote. But everyone is allowed to vote. Everyone is allowed to contest elections. So rich people, even though they don't contribute, they actually stand in elections to get capture it. Next point. Limited area of operations. Limited area of operations. Anyone can elaborate on this? Yeah. So we can have two types of cooperatives. Single state cooperative, multi-state cooperative. Single state cooperative means they are registered in one state. So their area of operation is restricted to only one state. So when you have restricted area of operation, you cannot grow bigger. To grow bigger, you should have pan India presence. So right. Restricted area of operations, put hyphen right. Most of the cooperatives are single state cooperatives. Most of the cooperatives are single state cooperatives. And hence their area of operation is restricted, and hence their area of operation is restricted to one state, leading to lower economies of scale. Leading to lower economies of scale. Limited area of operation. Next one is limited scope. Limited scope. Put a hyphen in right. Most of the cooperatives are single purpose cooperatives. Most of the cooperatives are single purpose cooperatives, and hence do not perform multifaceted role, leading to lower economies of scale. Just read what I mentioned. Like PSCS right now, what are they doing? They are involving only in one role. What is that? Credit. IFCO, on the other hand, diversified its role, right? Next one, disparities. So when I say disparities, one kind of disparity is regional disparity. Where are the cooperatives mostly developed? Which state? UP and Maharashtra. So right, disparities, regional disparity, mostly developed in UP and Maharashtra. What is sectoral disparity? Which sector they are mostly developed? Sugar and dairy. Sector wise disparity, mostly developed in sugar and dairy sector. So they have failed to dominate the other sectors. Next one is limited cooperation among cooperatives. Limited cooperation among cooperatives. Okay, what is this limited cooperation among cooperatives is? Let's say at a village level, you have PSCS, and there is another dairy cooperative. Ideally, what should happen is, ideally, this primary agriculture credit society should provide credit loans to the dairy cooperative. It is good for PSES because PSES will get new customers to lend money. It is good for the dairy cooperative because the dairy cooperative will have access to credit. It's win-win situation. But this kind of cooperation right now is not taking place. Why is it not taking place? Why does it not happen? Socho? Why is PSES not giving loans to dairy cooperative? To whom can PSES give loans to? Only to members. PSES can give loans only to members. Can it give loans to non-members? No. Which is in turn preventing them from giving loans to dairy cooperatives, right? So ideally, such kind of restriction should not be there so that they can grow into bigger institutes. So, right? For example, PSES can give loans. For example, PSES can give loans to dairy cooperatives, leading to win-win situation. Leading to win-win situation. Next one is politicization of cooperatives. Politicization of cooperatives. Just write these points, I'll explain. So look at how the state governments are able to control the cooperatives. Has everyone taken down? Okay, let's see here. See, basically, cooperatives need money, capital. So because to provide them financial assistance, the state governments will provide share capital. Share capital means equity. So just like how members provide for capital, state government will also become one of the member in the cooperative, and the state government will provide some capital, money to the cooperatives. So as soon as the share capital is provided by the state government, this will enable the state government to appoint its members on the cooperatives. And what they'll do is they'll ensure that this member is able to run the cooperative. So on one side, you have democratically elected chairperson of a cooperative, while on the other hand, you have a member appointed or nominated by the state government. Ultimately, between the chairperson and this member, who becomes more powerful? This person becomes more powerful because he's the one who is going to get the capital also, right? Second, ये कहीं पे पड़ा हुआ लग रहा है, these 2 points. RBI can not do this in the context of which banks? Public sector banks. Just like how central government is controlling public sector banks, same way the state government is controlling the cooperatives. What should happen here is state should not have these kind of powers, right? Same way, what do you think about this? Share capital. Should the state government provide share capital? We'll discuss that in strategies. Next point. Next point. Lack of access to the capital market. Lack of access to the capital market. Lack of access to the capital market. Put a hyphen and write. Unlike companies, cooperatives cannot issue bonds. Unlike companies, cooperatives cannot issue bonds. Cannot issue bonds and tap capital market. And tap, TAP. Cooperatives cannot issue bonds and tap capital market. In the bracket, you can write recall umbrella organization for UCBs. Recall umbrella, ये एग्जाम में लिखना है, ये आपके लिए है. Recall umbrella organization for UCBs. हमने डिस्कस किया था urban cooperative banks. Because they are cooperatives, they cannot raise capital. So all the urban cooperative banks have come together. They have set up a umbrella organization. This umbrella organization is registered as a company. As a company, it can very well issue the bonds. Something like this should be replicated for other cooperatives as well. Getting it? Okay, next. Poor regulation of urban cooperative banks. Poor regulation of urban cooperative banks. How many points are written totally? 11. ठीक है, 9 should be sufficient. ठीक है, everyone? Just flip your page, look at the next one, initiatives. In the mains examination, this is something which is important for your mains as well as prelims, the initiatives. Please take your time, go through all those initiatives. In these initiatives, okay, what is bylaw? Bylaw क्या होता है? They are basically rules. These are the rules which define how a particular organization should work. They are the rules. हम इसको मॉडल क्यों बोल रहे हैं? Because how should cooperatives work? Who should lay down the rules and regulation? State government. Because cooperatives come under the state list. We are calling them as model because central government has formulated these rules, and these rules are circulated among the states so that the states can adopt these rules. What are these rules? Like, we should enable PSCS to take up, look at this, 25 different economic activities. Can the center do it? Center cannot do it. It's ultimately the states. Look at this. We are giving priority to PSCS for petrol or diesel dealership as well as Jandan Aushadhi Kendras. Okay, look at this National Cooperative University. This has been recently established. Recently, it has been established. And when you look at this dairy revolution or the milk revolution in India, there were two people behind this. One was Mr. Varghese Kurian. He was the chairperson of National Dairy Development Board, Mr. Varghese Kurian. Like MS Swaminathan was the father of the Green Revolution, he is considered as the father of the White Revolution. Second person responsible for dairy revolution in India is Tribhuvan Das Patel. Tribhuvan Das Patel. Tribhuvan Das Patel was actually the person who mobilized the farmers into Amul. And after him only this particular university has been named, National Cooperative University. Are we clear? Okay, I have a class now. Gujarat, Anand in Gujarat. Fine, then we'll stop here. In next class, we'll start with the infrastructure. Tomorrow we'll start with the infrastructure. We are almost done with agriculture. I'll show you the syllabus which is covered. Tomorrow we'll start with infrastructure. Thank you.